In this tutorial, you will learn how to retopologize a human male hand in Blender 3.6. You will learn how to set up snapping options for retopology. You will learn how to use and form loops to make your hands animate better. You will learn how to reduce the vertex count and loops to attach your retopologized hand to a retopologized body. This tutorial is taught in a step-by-step fashion where I try to explain not just what I'm doing, but why I'm doing what I'm doing. Thanks for taking a look at this tutorial, and I hope that you enjoy it. Hi, this is Elliot Rango, and today I'm going to show you how to do hand retopology in Blender 3.6. So let's get started. Okay, what you see in front of you is the results of some other tutorials. If you haven't seen those tutorials, you should be able to follow along with this one. However, I'm going to assume that those of you that are watching this have seen those tutorials or will plan on seeing them. So we're going to start like we're going right after those tutorials. Okay, so I'm going to click here, which is our retopology mesh. I'm going to go to this square. I'm going to go down to viewport visibility. I'm going to select wireframe so we can see the wireframe in object mode. This will also allow us to see the wireframe in sculpt mode as well. Okay, we're going to go to the upper middle, toward the middle of the screen. We're going to go to edit mode. This is what the retopology was from the last tutorial. There's a lot of space here for the leg here, so I'm going to hold Control, press R, put a loop cut there. I'm going to put a loop cut here. Now you might say, okay, this is a hand retopology thing. Why are you doing that? Okay, well, the reason why I'm doing this is this topology is going to basically, the hand's going to run into this, all right? We're going to put in a loop here. All right, so with that in, we're going to go to our modifier tab. We put in extra topology, so I want to make sure that that topology is sticking to the body. It's also another thing. We're going to go to view global/local. Global mode in Blender is basically when you see like pretty much everything you're seeing. When you click view global/local, you go into local mode, which is just looking at the object of your scene. So here, be aware we have a mirror modifier on here, so whatever we do to one side happens to the other side. We'll select here, press X, and then choose faces to delete that geometry. We'll select there to go back out of local mode into global mode again. Okay, for this here, I'm going to go to edge select, hold Alt, select that edge, go to this smooth to smooth that down. I'll press R to rotate that some. I'll go to G, pull that out. Something like that, not too much. Now what I'm going to do is go to object mode. I'm going to add a shrink wrap modifier. Where you see this target in shrink wrap modifier, I'll select the hand so the new geometry sticks. Sometimes you can get a better flow of the geometry by changing the wrap method from nearest surface point, which is the default setting that you see in shrink wrap, to project, which makes things go like this. And you can change this to negative. And generally I find that this is a better shrink wrap setup to do when you're pretty much near the end or modifying a project, rather than starting off, and you're starting off doing something that where your material needs to be placed on top or next to another material that you're better off working with the default shrink wrap method. But for the project, when you're near the end, this works out well, right? All right, so we have our geometry snapping. We take a look, looks pretty good. However, see how this is kind of like bunched up here? One way to deal with that is we'll add another modifier, which is the smooth modifier. Okay, with the smooth modifier, let's just roll the mouse wheel to zoom back. What we're going to do is change this factor to 1. It makes me feel like I have more control with it in there, these two options will turn this on. This allows you to see what's happening here in edit mode. We're going to take this repeat up to 5. When you do that, you can see that this is going away. Shrink wrap is pulling away from the body. Let us see this issue right here. We'll go here. The issue is right there. We have a mirror modifier on here with clipping, so I have to pull the direction and that is fixed. We'll go back to object mode. Here in object mode, the reason why this is pulling away from the body is because the smooth is underneath the shrink wrap. So we can move this above the shrink wrap, and then that fixes that issue. Okay, I want to apply these mirror fires. I'm going to take off the mirror, right? I'm going to select apply all. Whoops, need to select this first, then select apply all. I'm going to bring back the mirror modifier. I took the mirror modifier off because I wanted to have those apply quickly and have them work how I wanted them. And the way I wanted them to work was I wanted them to be like what you see here, not things move around. So even though we have this issue from taking the mirror modifier off, we can select here, go to edit mode with edge select on, hold alt, select here, turn on clipping, and then push this towards itself. And yeah, everything is how I think it should be. As soon as I said that, I saw this right here. I'm going to hold shift as well as middle mouse button in the pan. We can deal with this by going to scope mode. We can see the wireframe, which allows us to work because we have the wireframe turned on in this viewport display. If we didn't, we wouldn't see the wireframe. There's another way to turn the wireframe on, but that lets you see what's underneath here as well. Anyway, what we're going to do is go to smooth. We're going to go to our tool settings here. This deformation is the default smooth, which worked well. However, when you want to smooth out geometry, you're probably going to want to go down to surface, and then we can, with that surface on, very nicely smooth that out. We'll turn this back to the default. Okay, so with that done, we'll zoom back. We've got this topology set up, I think, fairly decently. So what we're going to do now is we're going to focus on the hand. To focus on the hand, we're going to hold Alt, press B. Whoops. Let's see. Hold Alt, press. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. We need to be in edit mode, I believe. So, okay, so before we do that, what we're going to do is hold Shift and right click. We're doing this to put the 3D cursor here, because in object where the 3D cursor is at, where the 3D cursor is at, when you bring objects into Blender, they tend to go to where the 3D cursor is at. I'm going to press Shift A, go to Mesh, Cube, right? Here's our cube. I'm going to press S to scale on the Y-axis. There we go. Turn this to the side some, right? We're going to go to the upper right, toggle X-ray, select there, press S to scale this down. RXX. Push twice and you'll change your axis. A lot of times it's easier to move. To rotate this into place, we're trying to place this on the finger. A lot of times this helps. Makes it easier to do. You can use this here, which allows you to move as well as rotate. Press S to shrink that down. If you want to move your, see how that, like, okay, so here's my move. I want to move this up. So if I want to do that, I can go to here, change this to normal. And this kind of lets me move how you would more think, moving the finger along. We're going to hold Shift, press D, duplicate, bring this out here. Click, transform, push this down some. Rotate that some. When you set this initial thing up, you want to do this all in object mode instead of edit mode, because we're going to use the shrink wrap modifier. If we use the shrink wrap modifier in edit mode, it would be trying to almost like fight against itself. So here I'm rotating, getting this generally into place for the fingers, right? Remember, we can see because we have that toggle X-ray on. Looks decent. Okay, what we want to do is click here. Actually, in Blender, even though these are separate objects, we should be able to edit them all at the same time by holding Shift. Click here, go to Edit. Wanted to do that because we need to delete. Oh, look at that. We can delete. Okay. Before you could do this, when I was saying look at that, it's like you can select them all at the same time. It's pretty nice. Have them act like the same object, even though they're not. It's good that, remember, it's good that they're not the same object, because that allows us to do this. We're going to add in a shrink wrap modifier, right? We'll select here. Then what we can do is select the fingers, hold Shift, select this last, which has the shrink wrap modifier. We can hold Control, press L, and then we can select copy modifiers too. Now this is important that this is highlighted brighter than this. That means this is the active object. So we basically selected these and then said, take the modifiers from the active object and put them on the other objects. Okay, I'm almost forgetting about the thumb. So I'm going to temporarily turn this off. Select here, hold Shift, press D, right, to duplicate. Or duplicate. Very similar to before. A lot of times this will help out a decent amount. Typically, to see something actually in 3D space, you need to rotate your view. Turn this back on. Okay, so now this is getting annoying to me. When you click here and this gets selected. You can click this arrow here to make it so you can't select this. If you don't see an arrow there, you would go up to this filter. You would click to turn this on, right? Then you would be able to see that, and this basically means it controls whether you can select something or not select something. So what I want to do is I'm going to select these 4 cubes, select this one last, hold Control, press J. So now they're all joined together as one object. Okay, what we're going to do now is click on the mesh, go to the upper left, go to edit mode. Let's zoom in. I'm going to turn off this X-ray, temporarily turn off this shrink wrap. I'm going to go here, click the square, go down to viewport display. I'm going to turn off front. I click here, go to the upper left, go to edit mode. We're going to turn off, okay, we have X-ray off. We're going to go to view global / local. When you see me click on something and I rotate off it, see how this rotates on here? I think I said this before. I go to preferences and then input. Nope. Navigation. See this orbit around selection? So if you see me click and then rotating, it's because I orbit around what I'm selected on. Anyway, what we want to do is click here, hold Shift, press F, click here, hold Shift, press F, click here, hold the middle mouse button, just rotate slightly, press F, click here, hold Shift, press F. Okay, with that done, we want to separate this, like the top from the bottom. So I'm going to hold Control, press R, left click once, left click a second time to lock in. For here, you want 3 loop cuts. 1, 2, 3. For here, you want to have 2 loop cuts from front to back. 1 loop cut going down the center. You want this on all the fingers, so 2 loop cuts. 1 going down the center. 2 on the side. 1 going down the center. I'll select the hand. Pan. And I'm doing the same thing over and over again. Select the hand pan. 1 going down the center. Go out of local mode. Okay, we need to put an edge loop in between the fingers. We'll go to View Global / Local again. Here's the edge loop, so I'm going to hold Control, press R. Hold Control, press R. Hold Control, press R. Back to View Global / Local. Okay, we're going to hold Alt, select around the edge there. We're going to push this so that this is basically, I'm concerned about the base of the fingers, right? So we don't want this on currently. We are going to turn on snapping. Let's deselect. We'll turn on snapping. Be very careful with the snapping. We'll use the shortest path technique to try to make this fairly quick. So we'll click here, hold Control, right? When I say the shortest path technique, I click here while holding Control. I click here, Blender will select everything in between. Now I can press G. And now that part is snapped. So here, I can click here, holding Control, G. That part snapped. We want to go around doing this, holding Shift where it looks appropriate to do. I'll select here. I'll go into View Global / Local. I'll go to here, go out, press G to snap that. Go back in View Global / Local. Hold Shift to pan. I do that instead of clicking the hand. I'll click here. Hold Control, select there. Press G. And zoom back. Hold Shift to the middle mouse button to pan. Let's go here. Click here. Okay, we'll click here. Press G. It's a little strange there. Click here. When the stuff gets like this is getting pretty wild here. We should be able to press C, select all this. We'll go to Vertex Select. The part that is like this geometry is like bunched up. We should be able to go to Loop Tools and then select Relax. We also can go here to Smooth and grab this to try to. That looks much better. We'll press G here to get this to snap. Global / Local. Select here. when you're trying to get things to snap, you want to use your view. This is kind of strange here. So I'm wondering why it's not, snapping's not on. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of like wherever your view is, or not kind of it is, you'll snap to that area. You want to be careful about having the hand like for lack of a better word, kind of like folding inside of itself, that jumping. I apologize for that. So now I'm manually grabbing these to try to smooth them out, so to say. Be aware of when you have snapping on compared to when you don't. Okay, we'll hold Alt. We'll try to smooth this out some. Okay, what we're going to do is around the thumb area, we're going to hold, we pressed, I pressed C and I'm holding the middle mouse button. That's allowing me to deselect around the thumb area. So with that done, I'm going to right click, go to Loop Tools and select Flatten. And this makes things, I think, easier to work with. So see how these points are sticking out here. We'll select here. Press G, select here, press G. All right, so what we need to do is, let's see what happens when we turn this on. Okay, actually, it's pretty good. So what we'll do is we'll duplicate this. We'll go to object mode. We'll not apply all, apply just this. We'll turn this off. Now we'll go back to edit mode. So now we keep the effects of having that modifier applied. I'm going to press A to select everything. I'm going to pull here. Now we have the snap affected, but we're not pressing G, so we should be good as far as not causing issues. So the shrink wrap, my main concern was these vertices in between here. Shrink wrap helped, not shrink wrap, sorry, the smooth. Okay, see how the shrink wrap isn't, well, we don't have it turned on. However, we're going to click here, go to project, turn this on, then we'll click negative. We'll select here, duplicate. We'll go to object mode. We're going there to, so we can apply this one. And then this one is, we can turn this off and then work from the other ones already applied. We'll go to, back to edit mode. Okay, what we need to do is we need to put quad shaped triangle shaped quads in between the fingers. To do that, we can click here, press F. This is using the F2 add-on. The vertex appears beneath, then we drag that up. We go in between the fingers, click here, press F, drag that up. In between the fingers, the line is what I'm talking about. We drag this up. We go to the bottom of the hand. We look for what's in between the fingers. We press F, we drag this up. in between the fingers, press F, drag it down in this case. In between fingers, press F. We'll go back to the top of the hand. The F2 add-on is what's making this happen. If you're like, what's going on? We'll click here, press F. This draws a face. Then we'll press F to fill that in. We'll click here, press F. Hold Shift to fill that in. Click here, press F. Hold Shift, fill that in. I'm going to go to the bottom. We'll click here, press F. Hold Shift, fill this in, press F. We'll click here, press F. Hold Shift, fill that in. Click here, hold Shift, press F, fill that in. Click here, press F. Click here, press F. Click here, press F. Hold the middle mouse button to rotate. We'll click here, press F. Click here, press F. Click here, press F. Hold Shift, then press F. Okay, I'm going to zoom back. One of the things I want to do is I'm going to click here, go to Edge Select, click here. I'll click, hold Control, click here. I use the shortest path technique. I'm going to press E to extrude this out, press S to scale that in, then press G. Okay, I'm going to click on the Move tool just to take away that marker from the Move tool. We're going to look towards the thumb. See this main area of the thumb here, right? So there's this whole main area here. See the faces here? So you have this whole face here, then these faces going down here, right? You're going to go to Vertex Select, click right here, right? And what we're doing is trying to make a loop around the thumb. Saw this from Russell Midfield. And then what we're going to do is we want to hold Control, right? We're making basically like a triangular loop here. We're going to hold Shift here. We're going to press F, right? Now we're going to hold Shift and we're going to press F here, all right? Okay, so what this is doing, this is starting us off with, we're going to have a loop that goes around here. So what you're going to do is you're going to you're going to match up. You're going to hold Control, right click, right click, right click, right? Right click. So now what we're going to do is go select here. We're going to press F, 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 F to fill in that area there. I'm going to hold Shift and the middle mouse button to pan. I'm going to go back to Vertex Select. So what we want to do is focus here, right? We want to make a face out of the vertices that you see on the screen. So we're going to hold Shift, select here, and then here, then press F. So now we have a completed loop. Okay, when I say a completed loop, what I mean is if I hold Control and press R here, you don't want to lock this in. See how there's a loop there? That's how your thumb loop should be. It's a loop going into itself. So I'm going to zoom in here. Oh. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Edge Select. We'll select here, all the way over to here. We'll press E to extrude. Drag this out like this. I'm going to right click, go to Loop Tools, and then select Flatten. Okay. Okay, we're going to hold the middle mouse button to rotate. We're going to go to vertex select. We'll select here. We'll press F. Click here, press F. Left click to lock in. Then we'll hold shift, select these 4 vertices, then press F. Hold the middle mouse button to rotate. I'm going to go to edge select. I'm going to select this. I'm going to turn this transform orientation from normal back to global. Push this up some. Go to vertex select. I'll select here. Hold shift. Press F to fill that in. Okay, we're on vertex select. We'll grab here, drag this out some. We're going to temporarily turn off snapping. We're doing that so that we can up something like that. So we can go to edge select, grab here, hold control, right? We're going to press E to extrude. We're extruding this up. We're going to press S to scale this in. Hold the middle mouse button to rotate that. We're going to turn snapping back on. Press G. Left click to lock that in. Okay, I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to rotate. We're going to temporarily turn off snapping again. I'm going to select here, hold the middle mouse button to rotate, holding control, turn snapping off so I could extrude without having snapping do anything strange. I'm going to take this up, press S to scale, push this over. I'm pushing this over so that I'm holding middle mouse button as well as the control to do a smooth zoom in. Pushing this over so that I can have this snap when I turn this back on off. Now press G, move this, make sure it's snapped. Now go to edge select, select here, hold shift, select here, press F. So now we have that area filled in there. Okay, we're gonna select here, hold shift, select here, press F to fill that in. I'm looking at this geometry and I'm thinking about trying to start to reduce the geometry as we're getting close up towards the hand. One of the things we can do is let's select here, hold control for the shortest path technique, right? Careful of your snapping. We'll bring this down some, push this over some, and turn off snapping. I'm going to select here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 faces, right? I'm going to press E to extrude, bring this up. Press R to rotate, right? E to extrude. What I'm doing is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to bring this down onto this 4th face here, right? Then I'll hold control, put in 1 loop cut, click here, then press FF to fill that in. So we're going to continue looking for where we can lower geometry down. We'll click this here, we'll push this in, we'll turn on snapping, we'll press G. By pushing this in, that jumping, we're able to click here, 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 then press F, and now we have 1 edge instead of 3 edges. So now we'll click here, press E to extrude, bring this up. We'll click here, press F. We'll click edge select, press F. We'll press C for paint select, select this stuff here. Let's go to face select. We'll press G to get that to snap down. We'll rotate. Right, for here, we'll hold control as well as middle mouse button to smoothly, try to smoothly zoom in anyway. Click here, press F, click here. Oh. We'll hold shift, select there, press M, and then at last we merge those 2 vertices together. So I'm looking to see, how I can decrease the geometry. I'm going to click here, press E to extrude, press R to rotate, press E to extrude, hold shift, press F to fill that in, hold control, press R, left click there, press F, then F to fill that area in. I'm going to go to vertex select, drag that up, click here, 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 press F to fill that in. Okay, I'm going to turn off snapping. I'm going to hold shift, rotate this so I can see this part of the thumb. I'm going to go to face select. I'm going to take away this face. One of the things I learned while doing this tutorial is don't be afraid of making irregular faces. So I'm going to click to drag this up. I'm going to left click here, drag this down. This gives me a 4-face quad right here. I'm going to press F to fill that in. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold control, press R, left click to lock that in. Go over to here, turn snapping back on. I'm going to drag this up, click here, drag this up. I'm going to go to edge select, select here, then I'll press F and then F to fill that in. Okay, I'm going to turn off snapping. I'm going to turn on the shrink wrap modifier. I go to vertex select. I'm going to duplicate this, go to object mode, and then I'm going to apply that one right there. Go back to edit mode. Here in edit mode, I'm going to select here, hold shift to select here, press F to fill that in. Go back to vertex select. Seems like when you're on vertex select, it's easier to see geometry. I'm going to try to make this geometry less stressed, if you will. Though while doing that, I'm going to lower down, take advantage of lowering down the polygon count. Not the vertex count going across the top is what I'm talking about, actually. Let's see, we'll click here, hold control, select here. I need snapping back on for this. There we go. Control, control. So now we can go select here, press F, F, F. See if I can, how many loops, what is this? This is 16 right here. Things can get crazy trying to lower it down. I prefer to lower it down than try to make sure you have enough to, connect, enough geometry to connect. Go to view global / local. So I hold Alt, 16 there. You really would like it to be 8. Vertex select. I'm gonna click here, press F. I'll go back to view global / local. Turn off snapping, or I'm going to click here, duplicate, go to object mode, apply this one, hide this one here, go back to edit mode, Bring that down. Grab here. Maybe not. Click here, press F. Oh, yeah, we have this. Hold Shift, press F to fill that in. I'm going to hold Alt. We have 12. Let's turn this back on. Looking for where we can lower down the geometry even more. Let's try going here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's too big there. We can vertex select. Try pulling this up like this. Shift, pressing F. That's 10 vertices there. Okay, so what we're going to do is look for where we can. So there's 2 vertices here. We'll select this. Well, we'll grab one. Well, turn that off. We'll push this down. Select here, here. Press F. That gives us 8. We'll zoom back. Left click to deselect. We go to object mode. Okay, this hand tutorial, before this hand tutorial, there was the body tutorial, then the face tutorial. So the hand tutorial and the way that I made the tutorials is coming last. However, this is using the body tutorial, that body retopology that does not have the head retopology on it. So I'm going to show you how to connect the two together. So the body is named sphere, right? I'm going to sphere. I'm going to turn that off, that sphere. I'm also going to click here for cube, turn that off, right? Here is the body as well as the head tutorial. I'm going to select the cube. I'm going to hold Control, press C. I've copy attributes. I believe there might be an add-on. I think there is an add-on you have to activate that says copy objects. That would be in edit preferences. It would say copy attributes or objects. Not sure about that. So I copied that, right? I'll minimize this. I'll go back to here. We're in object mode, and here I'll hold Control, press V. So now this comes in right in the place of where the other geometry used to be. Okay, this tutorial I made first, I did the body tutorial, then I did a face tutorial. This hand tutorial is made last. When I say tutorial, I'm talking about Retopology tutorial. So I want to show you how to join them together since the head retopology isn't here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to sphere, right? So here's the sphere. I'm going to hide that. I'm going to click on the body topology. This is the retopology without the head, right? I'll drag this down. I have another version of Blender open here. To do what I'm about to do, you need to go to Edit, User Preferences, and then turn on the add-on for copy attributes. When I say add-on, this is something that comes in the default version of Blender. You just have to turn it on. With that said, I'll click here. I'll hold Control. I'll press C, right? Copy attributes comes on. Click that. I'll minimize this. Maximize this. Click here. Hold Control. Press V. So now that retopology work is in here. Okay, I'm going to hold the mouse button and rotate towards the side. I have another head. I'll press H to hide that head. I'm going to click the hand, apply this, apply the shrink wrap. I'm going to click on our main mesh, go to edit mode, go to face select, delete these faces here. I'm going to go to object mode, select here, right click, select shade, smooth, hold shift. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go, so I don't confuse you, go down to viewport display, turn off wireframe. I'll click the hand, retopology. I'll click this while holding shift, hold control, press J. Those are now joined together. Now I'll go to edit mode. Okay, what I'm going to do is hold control as well as the middle mouse button to zoom in some. I'll select here. See how this is like kind of strange looking? I'm going to go to flatten, try to straighten that out some. Didn't do much. Hold Alt, right click, select flatten there. That did better. I'm going to hold Alt, select here. You can see this is 8 vertices. I'm going to hold Alt, select here, 8 vertices. I'll go back to here, holding Alt again. I'll hold Shift this time so they're both selected. Hold Control, press E, and then I'll select Bridge Edge Loops. Okay, I'm going to hover here, hold Control, press R, put in 2 loop cuts. I'm going to hold Alt as well as Shift and select these loops here. I'll let go of Alt as well as Shift so I could rotate the mouse. Continuing to do by holding Shift and Alt, I'm able to select. I do not want these loops. I don't want those loops here. I'm going to press C for paint select, right? And that lets me to, allows me to deselect those loops there. I'll press the middle mouse button then to deselect them. All right, so now I'm holding Shift as well as Alt again to select these here. What I want to do is make more geometry for the joints. I'll hold Control, press B. I'm beveling now. So now we have that extra geometry for those joints. Okay, I'm going to roll the mouse wheel to zoom back to get the. It's important that you use the mirror modifier to get this hand to the other side rather than symmetrify. So if you use a multi-resolution modifier, this way I'm showing you, you'll be able to rebuild your subdivisions. And if you're like, what is that? I explained that in the Retopology tutorial where I show how to make the body, I believe. So anyway, to get this to the other side, this hand is what I'm talking about. I'm going to hold Alt, select here, press X, choose faces to delete. I'll hover here, press L, press X to delete that. I'll go to the wrench, which is our multi-res. I'm going to take off this that multi-res there. I'm then going to add on a mirror modifier. And then now with that on, we have the hand on the other side. Okay, I recommend you apply this. I'm going to go to object mode, and then I'm going to apply this. And I recommend you do this before you do any more work with a multi-res, specifically if you plan on rebuilding your subdivisions from a multi-resolution modifier. Okay, so I'm going to zoom into the hand. So that is the topology. For the hand. You can actually put in another loop here. Depending on how much time you take, you can increase your the flow of your topology and how everything is. You also can use a smooth modifier to make your topology smooth out more evenly as far as the placement of your geometry. Okay guys, that's it for the tutorial. For all of those of you out there who like the videos on this channel and reshare them, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And for those of you who are new to this channel, if you like the videos on this channel, you would like to see more, please subscribe, and thank you for viewing.